Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for this coronavirus headquarters update. I'm Martha Koloski. Well, the first mass testing to be publicly offered in west central Wisconsin is being conducted in Buffalo County. Wisconsin residents 5 years of age and older with current COVID-19 symptoms, the elderly or those with underlying health conditions are all encouraged to be tested, and they do not need a doctor's order to stop at the site. National Guard members are assisting area health department officials in screening and testing people. Buffalo County's emergency management director says this is an important step in understanding how the virus has impacted the area.
To have it come to the rural communities of Pepin and Buffalo County, I think speaks to how the state feels everybody's important, and they recognize the challenges of the rural parts of the state in getting this type of testing.
The results from the drive-through testing site should be ready within 24 to 48 hours. Elective surgeries, procedures, and visits once again are available at Mayo Clinic Health System locations. The health system announced the change this afternoon. The system cited a decreased projected peak for Mayo Clinic locations. That decrease is making hospital and ICU bed capacity no longer an issue. Increased testing capabilities, PPE supply management, also screening processes are now in place. Mayo Clinic Health System could still change their policy if the COVID pandemic increases again. And 7,300 people in Wisconsin have tested positive for COVID-19. 460 new cases are being reported today, the second straight day of record positive cases being reported. 327 people have died, and about 3,300 people, about half of the cases in the state, have recovered. The number of cases in Wisconsin, though, is up by about 36% from last week. That also follows the first full week of testing, with more than 10,000 tests completed each day in the state. One new case is being reported in Crawford County, and no new cases are being reported in La Crosse County. In Minnesota, there are more than 5,700 infections there. That's nearly 600 new cases in the state. That comes after a record number of tests were completed for the third straight day. 371 people have died and nearly 2,300 have recovered. The number of cases in Minnesota is up nearly 80% from 1 week ago. But the number of deaths is also up only 57% after nearly doubling the previous 2 weeks. No new cases are being reported in Winona County. And then in Iowa, there are 90 cases in Almaky County now, with at least 46 recoveries. In the entire state, there are nearly 7,900 people who have tested positive for the virus. 170 have died. The total recoveries in that state is nearly 2,900. There was a 77% increase in the number of positive cases in Iowa over the past week, and 14% of all tests completed in Iowa have been completed during that week. The increase in testing could lead to more positive cases.
We do anticipate the overall numbers that will be reported this weekend. They may be higher than usual, as we've seen in today's numbers.
77 counties in Iowa have reduced restrictions as of today. That includes Winneshiek County. 85% of the new positive cases came from the 22 counties where restrictions remain in place. Well, let's talk about some things that you can do this weekend, because most state parks are now open in Wisconsin, but starting today, admission fees are required. So during the peak of the pandemic, the fees had been waived. You can buy a vehicle admission sticker or state trail pass over the phone, or you can also go online to get it. You are not able to buy annual and daily passes at any individual parks or trails. The state parks also have reduced hours and will be closed on Wednesdays for maintenance. And this gorgeous weekend weather is also great timing for Wisconsin's fishing opening tomorrow. Even though the state's safer at home order runs through May 26th, outdoor activity is recognized as being essential. Because of the pandemic, though, people are encouraged to fish close to home this year and also continue social distancing, whether it be on a boat, shore, or on a dock. DNR wardens are also reminding people that all regulations and license requirements are still in effect.
Keep in mind that still the boating laws pertain. We're still out there enforcing the laws and regulations. Make sure they have, this time of year, if they're taking a boat out, make sure they check their boats over, make sure they have the proper safety equipment in them.
Game fishing season is open year-round on the Mississippi River, but the DNR just recently did change a lot of the bag and size limits, so you are encouraged to make sure you check over those new rules before dropping in a line. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this coronavirus update, and we also hope you can join us tonight at 10.